Nintendo has provided a much awaited update on Switch Online because we are getting to the very tail end of everything they've ever announced. There's just a few left and some of them are coming out soon. So what's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. Hope you're doing fantastic out there. Been a couple days. I took some time to enjoy Thanksgiving, enjoy some football, enjoy some board games, enjoy some movies, enjoy some family time, and now I'm back in the video swing. Hopefully you had fun with your families or friends or friends as well. You can have family and friends in the same room. We have family and friends probably watching this video, which is so darn cool. Nintendo Switch has offered up an update for Nintendo Switch Online. Previously, we were down to just a couple of games remaining. 2 games remaining of our US list that have not yet released. Can you name them? I'll give you a second in the comments down below. While I give you that second, let me tell you about the Lexar Play Card, which is the best memory card you can possibly get for Switch. It's currently 50% off till the 27th of November. Special Black Friday madness going on. Still available. Make sure to click the link in the description down below. I don't even need to sell it to you. Here's how I'll sell it to you. I will open up my Switch and I'll get the memory cards out of my Switch. You can see what it is. Here it is. It's a Lexar Play Card, 1 terabyte. Oh, nice. Okay, let's go out of my Steam Deck here. Let's see. What do I got here? Boom. Lexar Play Card. 1 terabyte yet again. So this is clearly the memory card of choice. SwitchForce seal of approval. That 1 terabyte card is 50% off, which is insane. The best storage you could possibly get. Did you get the 2 games right? It's 1080 snowboarding for N64 and Golden Sun for GBA. But Nintendo kicked off their update with something interesting, announcing an N64 game that previously was only announced for Japan, called Star Twins over in the Eastern region. This is Jet Force Gemini, and Nintendo announced that will be our December N64 game as a surprise, because 1080 snowboarding, given its snowy theme and its last standing title on our N64 TBD list, should have been the December game. But Nintendo is audibling and dropping Jet Force Gemini on an unknown date in December. That's where it began. And then the next piece of the puzzle was Furukawa coming through with his comments on where Switch Online and N64 will go on from here. During a recent investor call, President Furukawa announced that Switch Online has cleared 38 million subscribers, which is a freaking great number for a Nintendo console. And he said that they would continue to offer new ways for users to enjoy Nintendo Switch over the long term by expanding the content available through Nintendo Switch Online, indicating that there's more games to come, further batches, since this batch and every other batch that we've had announced for years now is coming to a conclusion. Now, that's not all he announced, because Nintendo is doing something very peculiar over in Japan by releasing a separate 18+ NSO app. Yeah, they're releasing a specific N64 app for mature-rated games on the Japanese eShop, particularly because Jet Force Gemini is dropping in Japan as Star Twins, and it's dropping here in America. But also because GoldenEye 007 is finally hitting Japan as the second N64 game of December for that region. Now, thankfully, we do not have a separate app here, and I won't pretend to understand how ratings boards work in Japan, but I find it very inconvenient. You got to download a whole separate app for these 2 games. Nintendo Switch has great parental controls. It's something that they've emphasized from the very beginning, and with Switch Online, you can definitely do that for the eShop as well. I don't know why this is needed, and I definitely don't want to see it over here in America. Now, maybe it's not that big of a deal. You just have 2 apps, but why 2 apps? We have plenty of mature-rated games on Switch. Things like Mortal Kombat, of course, come to mind. And there's other M-rated games already on NSO here, but Japan handles things differently in terms of how they rate and review, and therefore they are keeping it separate with an 18+ exclusive NSO app, although the Switch doesn't have like facial age recognition, so even if it does have that, like you still probably can find a way to play these games. But continuing on from there, there's even more, because we have Jet Force Gemini releasing as the December Switch game in both Japan and the US, and then we have 007 finally releasing on Japan with their 18+ app. But Japan doesn't stop there. They have 2 more N64 games that were announced as releasing by the end of 2023, and that means December. There's no other option. One would be 1080 snowboarding. What? That's the game we just talked about, has not yet been released for Switch Online over here in the States, and instead they audibled and dropped Jet Force Gemini into the December slot. It makes me wonder if we will indeed be getting 1080 snowboarding over here in the States later in December. Like perhaps Nintendo drops Jet Force Gemini early in the month, and then says, hey, have a Christmas surprise or a New Year's Eve surprise. Here's 1080 snowboarding. It fits with the snowy theme. It would make sense since they're releasing it in Japan to keep things in line, but maybe they decide to hold it. Maybe they decide to hold it for January when things are a bit slow and it's time to make those people that just subscribe to Switch Online feel good about their subscription. I figured that they would just use the rest of their stock, Golden Sun and 1080 Snowboarding, to close out 2023, but Nintendo obviously has different plans. And given that Switch Online should carry over seamlessly to whatever Nintendo releases next, in theory, they can just keep releasing Nintendo Switch Online games and have no problem. There's no stopgap. They don't have to do anything different. They can just seamlessly transition to the next system. But what makes it even weirder is that Japan is getting a fourth N64 game, Harvest Moon 2, aka Harvest Moon 64. So they're getting 4 N64 games, and we are getting 1 over here in the States. Could Golden Sun be a late December surprise? Perhaps it will be, or again, perhaps Nintendo is saving that for early 2024. Now, I understand Harvest Moon because they're having issues with some of the licensing and titling. It's now Story of Seasons here in the States. It's still Harvest Moon over in Japan, so that's a bit of an issue and causing, obviously, commotion. But it's very weird that Nintendo is going so Japan heavy with the N64 games this December, and I wonder if we're going to see more. I think part of the fun of Switch Online is the surprise, and part of the dismay of Switch Online is the surprise. We're at a point where we really don't know anything else that Nintendo is going to announce, and that's sort of the route they've taken with the NES and SNES drops, Genesis as well. They'll just pop out 4 games and be like, here it is. Maybe there's a gem amongst these stinkers, but possibly not. And I understand the fun appeal of like randomly getting a tweet on an evening that Nintendo is dropping new NSO games, but there's so many quality GBA titles, I think they owe it to us to at least list out the ones that are coming. There's heavy hitters. You don't need to rely on just the surprise factor to hope that people will check it out. N64, I understand that the catalog is thinning, but what the heck is next for Switch Online? It's very weird because Nintendo is so random with how they do this service. The game trials come and go randomly. All right, the NSO games drop randomly despite having some structure of like, okay, here's the next 10 N64 games, we just don't know when. And then similar with the expansion pack, that content is random too. We have no clue what's coming the year ahead. We got like Animal Crossing, Mario Kart, Splatoon 2 pretty close together, and we've had no new DLC since. I understand that N64 games and GBA games are a big component of that service, but we're running out of those as well. So Nintendo needs to let us know what's coming forward for this subscription. Why are you paying $50? What are you getting for that? I think it's a good value when we know what's coming, but the Mario Kart Booster Pass is out. We don't know what's next from the nostalgic Virtual Console front. Maybe they're waiting for a February Direct. Maybe they're waiting for some other type of presentation. Maybe it's just going to become random drops like NES and SNES. Hey, it's a random N64 game. Hey, it's a random Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance game. I don't know how they're going to handle it, but I think Nintendo owes it to us for how well we've supported the service, as evidenced by 38 million subscribers, to let us know something that's coming, at least a general structure. If you don't want to give us the set dates, at least let us know here's the content you can come to expect, at least for the first half of 2024, or some part of 2024. Japan is getting a heavy load in December, and I think there is a small chance that we also get more than just SwitchForce Gemini. Golden Sun could appear, 1080 could appear, maybe they'll all appear. Maybe Nintendo really is going to start 2024 off fresh, but if they are, I ask, when do we find out what's next? And even if they aren't, even if they save 1080 snowboarding and Golden Sun for January and February, they're going to need to alert us at the next Direct what the heck's going on, because we are completely out for Switch Online. And what comes next? What are we paying for? I think the service has really done a good job standing up, being worth its value, and introducing interesting Nintendo-y ways to make this a successful online system. But you can't stop while you're ahead. You can't just pause when the momentum gets strong. You gotta keep going. And the answer is not an 18 plus app over here. Don't do that for a college. Just give us new content. Let us know what all is coming, and let me know in the comments down below if you're pumped for SwitchForce Gemini, if you hope 1080 snowboarding releases, and what you think the heck comes next for Switch Online. We're out. What are we gonna do? What games are coming? Hit me up in the comments down below, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. And until next time, SwitchForce out.